Well, welcome everyone to another Wednesday edition of the virtual tasting of the featured Effin Beer of the Week. Special St. Patrick's Day version of this as well. We haven't done that before. And let's talk about St. Patrick's Day first. Well, first of all, we're going to be doing our anniversary ale. This is our latest version, the 2021 version, which is freshly bottled, and it'll be available in bottles for pickup, curbside pickup this weekend, Friday and Saturday, both days from 4 to 5. So you'll want to order those because we only have a limited amount because of COVID and reduced brewing capabilities for us. We have a reduced amount this weekend, but we're still brewing it, and you may not, if it runs out, you're going to be able to get it in future weekends, but you're going to want to get some because this one's pretty special. We did a virtual tasting of the last 3 years, this one and prior 2 years on Saturday, and it was pretty impressive. So St. Patrick's Day. So if you notice, the Irish flag is green, like the shirt I'm wearing. Well, a different color green, more Kelly green. Orange and white. And does anyone know what those colors represent? Well, let me share it with you. If you do or you don't, the green is for the Catholics, the orange is for the Protestants, and the white represents the unity between the two for peace and well-being. Because there's been a lot of conflict in Ireland over the years between the Catholics and the Protestants, and the Irish wars have been very, very challenging for the folks there. So, it's pretty calm now, but it's a shame that religion creates wars, but it's been doing it for a long, long time. But that's the difference. Orange, green. I'm Irish. I'm not Catholic, but I have a lot of Catholic friends, and I have some Catholics in my family, and I have nothing against Catholics, and so I will wear both colors just to support my country of Ireland. English Old Ale. What is an English Old Ale? Well, an old ale in England was really brewed as a special beer that you were going to cellar away and reserve it for bringing out and for a big celebration. Something like a significant birthday or an anniversary or a special event that happened for the country or your family or your community. And then you would bring out this old ale that had some age on it, and people would just love it because it was a beer that had matured, and it was rich, and it had great malty balance with a nice dry finish from the hops. And back in the days when they aged things in barrels, it probably had some nice oakiness to it. It may even picked up some Brett characteristics and brought out some different kind of characters. But it's been brewed for a long, long time. So you saw when I poured it, what I like to do is I want to create a big head on my beer because I want to bring out all the aromatics in that beer, and I want that beer to kind of degas a little bit because the carbonation creates a little bit of harshness to it, so you want to get that beer for what it really is. So let it foam up. You don't have to drink it immediately, and it'll warm up a little bit. It'll mature. It'll air it out, kind of like with a nice fine wine. You like to either decant it or you open it before you're going to serve it, and then you maybe swirl it in your glass because you want to bring out all the flavors and the tones to be maximized. So that's kind of why I pour that way, because I like that. This is also a proper English pint glass, Foggy Noggin Imperial pint glass, which you can buy those as well. Those are $5 each. This weekend only, and only this weekend, 2021, this will be our 11th straight year we've offered it at $5 a bottle. It's below our cost, but it's a thanks to all of our great customers and giving you something that you're going to enjoy today, and you're going to enjoy if you age it for 3 to 5 or more years and enjoy it for years to come. So let's talk about this beer and what's in it. It's a 6.8% beer. It's English Old Ale, 55 IBUs. And this particular year, we changed one little variable, and that was our mash temp. So we have 3 malts. They all come from our favorite maltster, Crisp Malting in England. We have Crisp Maris Otter, 80% of the malt bill, or 32 pounds. Then we have both their amber malt and their Crystal 77 Lovibond crystal malt, 4 pounds each, 10% each. Those are milled and mashed in at 152 degrees this year. Now, all 10 years prior, we mashed at 148, and we wanted to have shorter chain sugars, so it was a cleaner fermentation and didn't have as much body mouthfeel. But I've really thought it's time to develop this beer and morph it into the next 10 years. Let's increase that temp at mash. Let's make those sugars a little bit longer. Let's increase the mouthfeel. Let's increase the malty characteristic of it. And from what I tasted on Saturday, I'm pretty pleased with what we did, and I think it was the right direction to go. And I think it's bringing out the beauty of this beer, and it's making it even more enjoyable than I would have thought before I did it. So it was mashed at 152 degrees for 1 hour, and then we sparge it with 170 degree water, collect all the sugars in our boil kettle, and boil it for 1 hour. At that point, we have 2 hop additions. Start of the boil with 60 minutes left. We add 6 ounces of UK Goldings, and that gives us 46 IBUs, and then with 15 minutes left, we add 4 3/4 more ounces of UK Goldings, and that gives us another 9 IBUs. We transfer it into the fermenter using the Fuller's yeast strain, which is White Lab 002, and at 65 degrees, let it rise to 68, let it ferment for 7 days, and then we take it out of the fermenter into secondary and cold crash it at 32 degrees. And that cleans the beer out, and this beer's got excellent clarity to it. You can see all the way through it, beautiful tones, nice copper color to it, nice off-white head. That foam just is a great match with that base color of the beer. Then we force carbonate it at 1.5 volumes, which is the British carbonation, and then we bottle it. And these are all freshly bottled, and they're available this weekend, Friday and Saturday, from 4 to 5 p.m. for $5 a bottle, only this weekend. So if you go, and this weekend, you probably want to pick up maybe a 2020 if you haven't had it, maybe a 2019, and we have them all the way back to 2013. And the prices vary, and they're on our website at foggynogginbrewing.com. And then you hit the beer tab. All the details are on all the bottles, and you may want to stock up and do your own vertical in your own home with your friends and family, or just by yourself. So I'm going to smell this beer. Oh, it's got just huge, rich, dark bread, malty deliciousness, toastiness, biscuity, but darkly roasted. Has a great smell. Maybe just a tad bit of citrus in there from the hops, but it's not a hoppy nose at all. Let's take a taste. Wow, that's delicious. Might be the best fresh batch of Anniversary I've ever tasted. Huge maltiness, huge dark bready character to it. You get a little warmth from the alcohol in the back of your tongue as it's going down, 6.8%. But that toastiness, that rich, maybe a little bit of raisiny character to it. From when you cook raisins in like a bran muffin or in some raisin bread or something, and you toast it, that flavor of those raisins are there, and nice finish of the malt lingers with a nice dry, earthy hoppiness to it. Wow, that's a satisfying beer. Well, that goes down very smooth. So I'm going to move this a little closer so we can see if there's any questions and see who's joined us tonight. So let's see here. I'm a little crooked, but that'll be all right. So we've got Dan, Kim, Zach. It's Zach's birthday too. Happy birthday, Zach! And Zach's drinking a 2019 barrel-aged Flight Risk barley wine from Counterbalance. The bottle was hardly carbonated when I opened it. Oh, I bet that's very tasty though. They make some nice beers down there at Counterbalance. Craig's there. Happy birthday, Zach, he says. Zach says he's been talking with some people in the beer tasting Seattle group about wax seals and beers are meant to be aged. Can you talk about whether you like wax seals and why? I don't like wax seals. I like these crowns that we've got on here are a crown to keep the beer in until if it's stored upright. When you store these upright, you don't want to have them laying down. You don't want it touching the crown, because that's metal and it's got a poly coating on there. You want the beer to be standing straight up so it's only touching glass. But this is a nice way. You want oxidation to occur naturally, and that's how you age a beer. If it's wax sealed, you're limiting the amount of air that's going to get in there, and it's not going to have really that same aging character to it. And I like the aging character. I want to find out what's going to happen to it. And then Zach also asks, is oxygen ingress important for aging? Yes, it is. That's how oxidation creates that, and the more oxygen gets in there, the quicker it's going to age. So you could make a beer stale pretty quick if there's too much oxygen, if it's not sealed properly. And ingress, bad while fermenting, but good while aging. Yeah, and it's not like you want a lot of oxygen in there. You want it to naturally occur in slow levels, because that's how it's going to happen, and really make that beer really beautiful. Do you bottle the Anniversary Ale with living yeast, or do you add extra yeast, anything when you bottle it? No. At the point of bottling, just from our cold crashing of it, we want as much yeast as we can to drop out. We don't filter it. So little yeast might get in there. So you notice that some years, different vintages, if a little bit more yeast got in that one bottle, it's going to continue to carbonate. And you might have some of these ones, just be careful how you open them, because they maybe have quite a bit of carbonation to them. And that answers your next question. Does carbonation increase as the beer gets older? I definitely need another 2019 to drink. The beer has been on my mind since the tasting event. So 2019, which is 2 years prior to this, tasted awesome Saturday night. And it's very similar to this beer with a little bit of aging character to it. So that is a great one. Where 2020, which is 1 year removed, it kind of fit in a different category. So when you say you got three things, which one seems a little different? 2020 was the one that seemed a little different. Is the only difference between the new batch and the old batch increase the mash temp? Exactly. Everything else has been the same, but you have to think about the ingredients we use at each year. They're dependent on, what was going on in the world that year, growing conditions, how much water, what was the temperature, did they get a good yield or a bad yield, and were all the temperatures when they actually did their malting of the grains, was it exactly like it was last year? Did you get the top part or the bottom part? And so it has there's some things way out of our control that we can do. Same with the hops that we use. Welcome, Sylvia. I gave my parents a taste of 20, 21, 20, and 19, and their favorite was a 2021. My favorite was a 2019. I think that if I was going to be, I really enjoy the 2019 a lot. And if I was going to have one, probably the 2019, but if I was going to drink a couple of beers, I think go for the 2021 right now. Craig says 2021 is awesome. It's like all others, very smooth, and I know this personally. Yes, Craig is one of my bottle helpers at the brewery, so he got to taste it on Monday when we just did a long, big bottling night on Monday. And Phil says, how do I get some in Massachusetts to try? Well, you need to find some friends that will come and buy it for you, and then they can ship it to you. And because I can't legally send it to Massachusetts, but your friends could. When you say that the sugars break down as the beer ages, can you explain that a little more? So part of the aging of a beer is, first thing that's going to happen is hops break down pretty quick. So when you get really hoppy beers, you want to drink them as fresh as you can if you like that hop character. And if you let it sit very long, the hops are going to drop out the quickest. The next thing that's going to happen is sugars start to break down. And if there's any yeast left in as the sugars break down, they're going to continue to develop a little bit more carbonation, a little bit more alcohol. It's not enough to measure, but it's going to create carbonation. Over time, those sugars are going to continue to break down, and they're going to become very rich flavors, to the point where if you get about 5 years or and longer, some of those get so more like a port wine may taste like that. So you get those really richness, because those sugars are breaking down and becoming sweeter. We can ship you the beer, but Jim can't know about it. So you hook up with Zach in there, and I don't want to know about it. So that's exactly right. But you may have a guy in here, Phil, that will ship it to you. So this is an outstanding beer, and we've already received them. Let's see. Today was our first day you could order, I believe, and I think they've already got 8 cases that have been ordered. So I strongly encourage you, if you're interested in, get those orders in now before it's going to be gone, because we have right now left, I think I'm counting, there's 6 there, and there's 12 cases, 8. We probably have over half of them already sold for this weekend. So get your orders in, and well, it's a special price. People like that $5 price point, and unfortunately, we only have what we have for this weekend, and you may not get it this weekend. It'll be $10 after this weekend, but get your orders in. This English Old Ale, if you joined a little bit late, is traditionally brewed for special occasions. It would be saved and brought out for a celebration. It could be something for your community that was wanted to celebrate. It was a family event. It was a birthday, anniversary, something really special. You would bring out that old ale that you'd been letting age a little bit, and that was something that was very special and very endured to the family there. This one's 6.8% alcohol on the English beer radar. Traditionally, that was a higher alcohol beer for the English. 55 IBUs, all English ingredients. We've got London water. We have 3 crisp malting malts. We have Maris Otter 80% and 10% each for crisp amber malt and their Crystal 77. We have 2 hop editions of UK Goldings, which are grown in the East Kent Valley of England. And there we put in 6 ounces at 60 minutes left in the boil and 4 3/4 at 15 minutes. At 20 minutes, we use the old Irish moss treatment, and we put in some Irish moss into a boil to help clean the beer out. When it's all done, we transfer it to a fermenter at 65 degrees with the Fuller's yeast, which is White Labs 002. And then we transfer to secondary for 1 week at 32 degrees to naturally cleanse the beer out, and that's got some great clarity to it. I just can't. It doesn't do justice on this video here, but it's very clear. And then we force carbonate to 1/2 volumes, and we bottle it, and it's tasting awesome. This might be the best anniversary beer we've had. This Saturday would be our 11th anniversary, but due to COVID, we're still closed. We missed our 10th. We're going to miss our 11th. And we hope in the next month or 2 we're going to be able to reopen on Saturdays and bring you all back in the tasting room. But just stay tuned. If you don't subscribe to our monthly email, you might want to send on the foggynogginbrewing.com. There's a way to send us an email, and you can ask to be added to the monthly list. But we can't wait to get people back in here. It's been too long. We haven't had the enjoyment of laughter and friends gathering and sharing beers together and just having a great old time. So this weekend, Friday and Saturday, we have this beer. Plus we have, a bunch of growlers and other bottles too. So go to the foggynogginbrewing.com website, hit the beer tab, and the growler fills that are available this weekend, and the bottles and Foggy Noggin merchandise, that's all available for pickup curbside on Friday and Saturday, 4 to 5 p.m. Now tomorrow night, Thursday, 5:30, is the happiest half hour of the week. You get a little piano, a little song, a little fun, just a little goofiness, and it's a great way to start the weekend. So 5:30 on Facebook Live tomorrow, Thursday, and then curbside Friday and Saturday. Next Wednesday, you're going to want to mark this one. We're releasing one of my favorite beers that I look for each year, and it's MLK Alt, German Alt-style beer, and that's going to be released next week. And so we're going to taste it on Wednesday, and we're going to share all our tasting notes, and it's going to really be a special thing. So let's see. Josh says, I may have to come grab some. Sounds great. We'll look forward to seeing you, and happy birthday, Zach, and cheers to everyone out there, and thanks for joining us, and everybody have a happy St. Patrick's Day. Cheers.